revolution sounds like a whisper. Don't you know we're talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Well, they're standing in a welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know we're talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. I said you better run, 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 run. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about revolution, oh no. Finally the tables are starting to turn. We're talking about a revolution, oh no. We're talking about a revolution, oh no. We're talking about a revolution, oh no.
Good morning, everybody. We are so happy that you are tuning in to be with us for our live stream 11 a.m. service, Unity Myrtle Beach. We are out at the new property on Salem Road under the oak tree. I like to imagine all the ancestors that must have met out here under these beautiful trees through the ages. So we give thanks this morning for all of the supportive energy that surrounds us in the seen and the unseen. We take a deep breath, we open our hearts and our minds to be available to Holy Spirit, available to the consciousness that helps us deepen into wisdom and peace and right steps, knowing what is ours to do in this incredible healing moment for our species. So we are going to begin again with a wonderful song that is written by Anton Knoll-Ruffo called Shine. And Debbie Campbell, if you're tuning in, you know this is the song Anton sang the day that you and Dave Fleck got engaged. So that's a sweet memory. We were there to see that. Okay, Shine.
Take my hand and be healed. Let the lights warm your soul. You have the right to be happy in every way. Face your fears, for you can change night into day. Remember your beginning, for you are born of light. Accept your magnificence and end all this fright. Did you know you can create love out of me? Name your intent with belief, you shall see we are free. On and on the cycle spins around. The lessons you learn help us all to know that you could live in peace and joy forever. You shine like an angel as seen from afar. Give yourself permission to be that special star. You have the power that flows through you and me. Joy in your life is the only key to be free. On and on the cycle spins around. The lessons you learn help us all to know that you could live in peace and joy forever. On and on the cycle spins around. The lessons you learn help us all to know that you could live in peace and joy forever, forever, forever. We are free.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I think y'all sound better under an oak tree. Beautiful. So, welcome again to our Unity Myrtle Beach live stream from Salem Road, our new property where our Unity Center is emerging by the minute. The green team is doing beautiful things. The footbridge has been rebuilt. The tent is up for next week's live service, June 14th. The barn is being repaired. Lots of activity going out here, so we give thanks for our beautiful land. We are looking today at an idea called revolutionary love, and I'd like to invite you to take a deep breath into that idea. Revolutionary love. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, talked about seizing divine ideas from the realm of divine ideas, and this is, I perceive, a divine idea, revolutionary love, meaning that we going deeper into what it means to be the presence of peace and kindness and the consciousness of Christ in the world. That's a revolutionary idea, and the love that grows out of that is a different kind of love. I'd like to give you an example. There's a mystical Hebrew concept called tikkun olam. We've talked about this at Unity Myrtle Beach before. Tikkun olam, meaning to heal or restore the world. An image that's used is the broken shards of the world coming back together. And the idea is that humanity and God have a co-responsibility to heal, repair, and transform the world. I would call this a revolutionary love. So we'll breathe into that idea and set intention today that we sense and know the comforting presence, the one presence, as we continue to walk through the valleys of healing and restoring the world. And we set intention today that we open our hearts and our minds for eyes to see, ears to hear, hearts to understand what is ours to do in healing and repairing, restoring the world. And as we breathe into that divine idea, we continue with the prayer of Jesus, known as the Lord's Prayer. We use the translation from the Aramaic, which was the language of Jesus. Father, Mother, Birther, and Breath of all, create a space inside of us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire then flows through ours as energy fills all form. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment and untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Do not let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. From age to age, through you, flow the glorious harmonies of life. May these words be fertile statements through which our future grows. Amen, amen, and amen. Or as David likes to say, amen, our women, and our children. And so we continue with our daily word, though sometimes we like to color outside of the lines, and today I'm reading the daily word for tomorrow, because the word for today is world peace. And the affirmation is, I do my part to bring peace to the world. The way I live my life tells a lot about my character. Do my words express peace and love? Do my actions convey kindness and consideration? There is love in my heart for all humankind. I share this love freely, regardless of appearances or what is happening in the news or in my surroundings. Choosing to see and live from the truth, I am always compassionate and peaceful in my dealings with others. It is so important to keep my thoughts and actions spiritually based, taking time to feed my soul so I am able to stay rooted in my belief that peace for all is possible. In this way, I am doing my part to bring about world peace. I feel blessed to be a part of this process. And from the book of John, the disciple of love, we read, I have said this to you so that in me you may have peace. In the world you face persecution, but take courage. I have conquered the world. So what we're talking about is this consciousness, the consciousness of love, or revolutionary love, the consciousness of peace, forgiveness, compassion. That consciousness frees us and helps us to be in the world right now to help repair it and transform it. So, as we take another deep breath and get ready to move into meditation, our next song is Open Your Heart. Now, who is that song by?
John McEwen, I believe.
John McEwen.
Yes. McEwen, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Okay. Thank you, John McEwen. Open Your Heart.
Heaven is open to you. Find a way to open your heart. You're so much more than you do. Find a way to open your heart. Open your heart. Always, you are God's instrument. Always, you are enough. Always, heaven is waiting right here. See now the whole world anew. Find a way to open your heart. Whatever's happened to you, find a way to open your heart. Open your heart. Always, you are God's instrument. Always, you are enough. Always, heaven is waiting right here. We're all God's daughters and sons. Find a way to open your heart. See now the whole world is one. Find a way to open your heart. Open your heart. Always, you are God's instrument. Always, you are enough. Always, heaven is waiting right. Always, you are God's instrument. Always, you are enough. Always, heaven is waiting right here.
We are enough. We have everything in us that's required to be the presence of love in the world. It's a part of the divine capacities, what Fillmore called the 12 powers. We have everything we need within us. So our work, our holy work, becomes deepening into those capacities to show up and be the presence of healing in the world right now in this moment. So Michael Lerner, Rabbi Michael Lerner, writes, people really do want their lives to be about serving some higher purpose. Rabbi Michael Lerner invites us to deepen into that idea that we really do want to be a part of serving a higher purpose. So what higher purpose than the idea of Tikkun Olam, to heal, repair, and transform the world? So I invite all of us to take a deep healing breath into that divine idea. The divine idea of healing and restoring and transforming the world. Could it be that each one of us is called to such a divine and holy calling as this? We deepen into this divine idea that you and I are called to heal and repair and transform the world. And in this time of meditation, I ask that all of us be brave enough, honest enough to deepen into our hearts to know what is ours to do in this moment. In the small graces, in the huge miracles, what is ours to do and be? What are our actions to look like? What are our words to sound like right now in this moment? To heal, repair, and transform the world. What does a transformed world look like? What does a world that works for everyone look like? As we take a few moments of silence, I invite us all to deepen into this divine idea and this calling, and to listen. How is it that we can heal and repair and transform our world? At this time, we can expect that this revolutionary love will call us to perhaps speak and be and act in ways that we have not spoken and acted before. It may be that in this moment of healing opportunity, more and more of us will deepen into the awareness that we are called to the world to be healing presence, to be the presence of love, to be the presence of the awakened consciousness. We are called to be honest and to listen, to wake up, stay present, pay attention. To wake up, stay present, pay attention, and to stay awake. Once again, we take a deep healing breath into this idea of Tikkun Olam. To heal, repair, and transform the world. We give thanks in the name and in the light of the living presence of peace and awakened consciousness that lives within us all. And we say, so it is, and so we let it be. Namaste. So here we are talking about this idea of revolutionary love. Can there be anything good in the word revolutionary? You betcha. The word evolutionary is in that word. And we talk a lot about evolving in the unity movement, evolving of consciousness, waking up, letting go of old woundings and hurtful patterns that have lived in our species for centuries and centuries. And so this morning we once again give ourselves over to the idea that it's never too late to wake up. And it's never too late to redeem and restore our consciousness, our thoughts, our actions. So Martin Luther King said this: people fail to get along because they fear each other. People fail to get along because they fear each other. And they fear each other because they don't know each other. And they don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. So we can breathe into that idea. See if you agree with that. People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. And they don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. One of the ideas in communication is that we have to be willing to listen deeply. Krishnamurti said this about listening: I do not know if you have ever examined how you listen. It doesn't matter to what, whether to a bird, to the wind, to the rushing waters, even your dialogue with yourself. Are you listening? You see, if we try to listen, we find it extraordinarily difficult because we are always projecting our opinions and ideas, our prejudices, our background, our inclinations, our impulses. These are Krishnamurti's words: when we dominate, we hardly listen to what is being said. One listens and therefore learns only in a state of attention, a state of silence, in which the whole background is in abeyance, is quiet. And then, it seems to me, it is possible to communicate. Krishnamurti. So in this moment, one of the most powerful invitations for all of us is to listen and to let our prejudices, our opinions take the background and be in enough silence so that we can truly listen to one another. I had an experience years ago when David and I lived in Santa Barbara, and we did a lot of work there with Santa Barbara Unity Church. We did the Sunday service one Sunday morning, and afterwards, that afternoon, we had a healing workshop. And into that workshop, came an African-American woman. She sat in the back. She listened very attentively and stayed for most of the workshop, and then she jumped up abruptly and left. And I got a phone call from her the next morning, and she said, "I would really like to come and talk with you about something that happened to me in the workshop." So she did. She came to our little cottage in Santa Barbara, and she and I sat across from each other, and this beautiful black-skinned woman told me the story about growing up in Alabama. And she had a lot of wounding about watching her beautiful, educated father have to, her words, kowtow, have to act smaller than he was when white men were present. She said, "The reason I jumped up and left so quickly yesterday is because your Southern accent triggered me, and I could not stand to hear you speak one more moment." So I wanted to come here today and see if we could create healing together. She said, "I don't want to carry this anger around, and I don't want to be triggered every time I hear a Southern accent." There was a long moment of stillness and silence before I could speak, because at that moment, this was in the mid-90s, in that moment I had never spoken out loud what I was about to say to her. Of course, now it's in mine and David's book, and I've told this story publicly, but in the mid-90s I had not yet spoken it. And so I looked into her beautiful eyes and I said, "I need for you to know that my grandfather rode with the Ku Klux Klan. And I need for you to know that on his, not too long before he passed, he looked up at me and said, 'I've done things that God will not forgive me for.'" I was able to say to him with a great awareness of this being true in my heart, I said to him, "No one is exempt from the love and grace of God." He went on to become a minister, and I don't know all of the prejudices that he may have held on to. I hope that it's true that he didn't ride with the Klan anymore after his young adulthood. There was no evidence of it in our family growing up. But it was a source of sadness and shame. And so in that moment, what I call a small, huge moment, the two of us were able to have healing and grace between us and around us. And I began to open, as a white person, to what was happening in my country, in America, and specifically in that moment, I began to open and be more honest and truthful with myself. And now we're at another moment in our country, and the invitation once again is for all of us to be honest and aware and to listen to one another deeply. I had another conversation just a few days ago in which I was able to listen to someone whose views I know to be different than mine. Views on everything from wearing masks, or the protests that are going on, or politics, or white privilege. Our views are quite different. This person and I were able to move into a space of being in conversation with one another with an awareness that even though our views are different, ultimately we share the hope for a peace-filled world. We share the hope for our children to be safe. We share the hope for our communities to work together in kind ways. We share that, and we were able to be in that space and listen deeply to one another and to make the decision that out beyond all of our opinions and ideas about what's right or wrong, that out beyond all of that, there's a place where we can meet and hope for our species to be at peace with one another. So part of what we're called to right now is to listen, and to listen perhaps more deeply than we've ever listened before. It has also come up in discussions this week, the question, what is unity? Unity is a divine idea. Our co-founders, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, were quite audacious to name this movement Unity. They never meant for us to have churches. They never meant for it to be a movement. But the idea of unity is an audacious idea. It means that we feel our oneness with all life, with all that is, with the one presence known by many names, and we feel our oneness with one another. Beyond culture, beyond religions, beyond skin color, we feel our oneness with one another. An audacious idea. So I'd like to continue answering the question, what is unity? With a statement that Unity Worldwide Ministries has put out, and it's called Unity Statement of Social Action. And I'd like to invite you to listen to this statement and partly answering the question, what is unity? Webster defines the word unity as the state of forming a complete and pleasing whole. At this time in the evolution of the planet and the lives of human beings, the task of forming a complete and pleasing whole is the imperative for positive evolution and harmonious existence for all. What a vision that is, harmonious existence for all. The perspective has seemingly been lost, this statement goes on to say. Our wholeness, our oneness, our sameness as a human race. We must now remember more than ever that we have much more in common than that which seems to divide us. The unity movement stands for and will tirelessly work for harmony so all people may know the freedom of peaceful expression. So they may know their own inner worth and essential contribution to the whole of life. Where there are divisions of opinions, beliefs, and perspectives, unity embraces curiosity, exploration, and expanded awareness of the gifts of diversity. Where there is fear of the other, unity stands for inclusivity and peaceful acceptance of another's right to create the life of his or her choosing. I know it's a long statement. Unity is a big, powerful movement. The statement goes on, where there is oppression and hatred, we stand for justice and understanding and for extending compassion, kindness, and forgiveness to restore balance. Where there is discrimination, we stand for inclusivity and equality. We pledge to be an advocate for the well-being, respect, and civil freedom of every human being. Any proposal or action that seeks to discriminate against individuals or classes of individuals based on prejudiced, stereotypic profiles of national origin, class, creed, race, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, or gender identity is in opposition to the core beliefs and values established by our founders. We choose unity. In harmony with the divine spirit we stand, so we may live in a spiritually awakened world that is continually evolving. This is our prayer and our decree. Through our actions, we let it be. Whew. I don't know about you all, but I personally feel glad and grateful to be a part of a movement that puts out a statement such as this. And of course, following the statement up with actions is what we all are invited to listen deeply to in this moment of what is ours to do. You know, at this church, we've had racial relations forums. We have shown films like White Like Me about white privilege. And we'll be showing films again with more dialogue. I feel there's more people who are ready to be honest and courageous to look at the beliefs, sometimes unconscious beliefs, that guide us and our lives. Last night I watched a documentary called The Uncomfortable Truth. About a man whose mother rode with the Freedom Riders. I invite you to watch that documentary. It's on Netflix, The Uncomfortable Truth. Looking at the idea of white privilege. I know it's an uncomfortable topic, but these days are not comfortable, so let's just go ahead and jump in and be uncomfortable. We're going to have to get uncomfortable to get to the big perspective and the healing opportunities that are available to us in this moment. Here is one example of what I see as white privilege. It was in this church during one of our racial relations forums that I learned well into my older adulthood. So I've been with this church 15 years, so it's been within the last 7 or 8 years that I, as a white adult woman, learned about the talk that black families give their children, especially to their young sons, about how to stay safe in the world, and specifically how to stay safe when they're stopped by the police. I cannot believe that I was into my 60s before I understood the level of concern, fear, discomfort, terror that black families were living with and having to give their children guidelines on how to stay safe in a world that did not see their lives as valuable as white lives. So one of the conversations that I've had this week on this topic, the question came to me, why is everyone so upset about this one man's death? I was able to say to this person, this is one murder and a long, long list of murders of black people at the hands of the police. It's one death and a long list going back 400 years. We talked about the idea of African American families. They can tell you what terrorism in America is. If you don't know the history of this country, if you don't know how this country was founded, how indigenous peoples were wiped out, how our government killed the indigenous people, the Native Americans, if you don't know that history, and if you don't know the history of terrorism against black people in this country, then you are responsible. You have to step into that and understand the history of this country and what it was founded on and what took place and what has continued to take place for these last 400 years. It is our responsibility to listen and to learn. Read Howard Zinn's book, watch the films. We're having put on our Facebook page and website a list of films and books. If you haven't read them or seen them already, then there's plenty out there to educate yourself. Watching the documentary last night, The Uncomfortable Truth, listening to this white man come to terms with his family history. It takes that kind of honesty and that kind of courage to help heal the wounding of America. And I invite us all to listen, to learn, to communicate, to be a part of the whole community, not just the one that's the same color as you. And I invite us to deepen into this idea, this calling, that we are called to repair and heal and transform the world. That's your calling, and it's my calling. And we're on a holy journey together. And I am so grateful again to be a part of a unity movement that not only puts out the statement, but also examples with action and with the diversity in our unity movement, unity ministers and congregations. I'm very glad to be a part of this movement. What is unity? Unity is a divine idea that we are deepening into, that we are practicing, and now we're called to deepen into it even more. I'm grateful and glad to be a part of it. So we take a deep breath. We're going to have one more song, and then I'm going to bring you a few exciting announcements. So this song is Look for the Good in Everyone by Jason Mraz. Jason Mraz.
Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People done forgot the superpowers we all have. We were born to love, not hate. We can decide our fate and look for the good in everyone and celebrate all our mistakes. If there's a silver lining, you still have to find it, find it, find it. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone needs sunshine, and everyone needs rain. Everyone is carrying around some kind of pain. I see who you are, you're just like me. I see you're searching for a purpose, guided by a dream. I see who you are, you're just like you. I get lost sometimes and I forget what I came here to do. I keep on trying, keep on trying. When it gets frightening, frightening. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone is nature, everyone is God, everyone is love and light and vibration. Look for the good, look for the good. Everyone gets mad sometimes, and maybe they should look for the good, look for the good. Yeah, look out for all the heroes in your neighborhood. Look for the good. Look for the good. Life would sure be sweeter if everybody would look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone.
That is a great song. That is a great song. Look for the good in everyone. What was the line? Even when it gets frightening. What was that line? Even when it gets frightening.
Let's see. I keep on trying. I get lost sometimes, and I forget what I came here to do. I keep on trying when it gets frightening.
I keep on trying when it gets frightening. And that's the thing. When it gets uncomfortable, when you want to turn away from looking deeply into what is yours to do in this healing moment, keep on going. My dad used to say, press on. Don't go back now. Press on. Press on into the deep and the holy and the truthful. So we thank you once again for being a part of our service today. We want to remind you that there is Wednesday book group on Zoom, Wednesday evening meditation on Zoom, Sunday morning circle on Zoom. We are Zooming. And our green team is inviting all this help that you want to give out here. The place is getting beautified, and it's good mental health therapy and physical healing therapy to be out here. So contact us if you want to be a part of that. Next Sunday, June 14th, we are having our outdoor Sunday service where we can gather with our lawn chairs. The guidelines for attending are on our Facebook page, our website. General reminder emails are going out. We sent out postcards. The service time is 11 a.m. out here next Sunday, June 14th. Bring your own lawn chairs. The guidelines do include wearing a mask and maintaining 6 feet. Y'all, I know there's lots of opinions about whether to wear or not wear a mask. We want to be respectful of the comfort of the majority of our folks who filled out the online reconvening survey. For now, for this moment, they want to maintain distance, wear the mask as we are coming and going and socializing with one another, and it won't be forever. But for now, this is what we're going to do for respect of one another's comfort. We also want to remind you there's lots of great things going on out here and on the new land, and we're continuing our work and continuing the wonderful calling of Unity Myrtle Beach, and your tithes and your donations make a difference. The barn's being repaired, the footbridge is rebuilt, lots going on out here, and the work of Unity continues. So please know, one person said to me last week, I just don't know what I can do except to write a check. I said, honey, that is divine. So your tithes and donations are important, and we give thanks for you and your continued support. So let's all take a deep breath. We give thanks for this day. We give thanks for remembering we're the light of the world, and we deepen into that divine idea. Jesus gave us that divine idea. We are the light of the world, so we continue to deepen into that divine idea even more deeply. What does it look like in this moment to be the light of the world? I look forward to exploring that and deepening into that with you. Namaste, y'all.